Peter Flynn, you're a busy man. You're,
I am.
You're
Thank
working,
God,
an accountant and you're a politician, a local politician.
A
How did you get involved in
part-time
politics?
Yeah, it's a long story. Believe it or not, I have absolutely no family background. I know if anyone knows my parents, they'll know they've no political allegiances, good, bad or different.
Absolutely, I wouldn't know who they were,
And,
what party they were, yeah.
So it was by accident in many ways. I suppose I bought a house out the Quay, and we formed a residents association at the time, trying to get our estate taken over. We were having difficulties with the council, and I suppose I ended up doing a lot of liaison with the council at the time. I also got involved in tidy towns around the same time, and I suppose through both I kind of got a greater appreciation for the whole community side of things and the various things that needed to happen. And I suppose in many ways through frustration, whereas I felt the council weren't paid enough heed to the community and kind of taking or recognising the involvement of the community and what people needed to do. And so I approached Fine Gael. I have to say I'd been a long time anti-Fianna Fáil, I suppose the whole Charlie Haughey era, and I remember in college there, and I suppose it used to gall me to see the kind of waste and what we now know as corruption going on in the country, and people thought it was okay. And I suppose when you combine the two of them together, that's kind of what drew me towards Fine Gael. And I suppose the rest is history, and I'm now in my 13th year in politics. If someone told me that 13 years ago, I'd have said take a tablet. But so I've done 10 years as town council, and I've just over 3 years done now in the county council.
The county council.
Time flies.
And have you any specific interest in any part of the community or the community development or county development?
Well, yeah.
Are you on a subcommittee or?
Yeah, I'm chairman of the environmental strategic policy committee, and again, I suppose the two key areas we're looking at is the whole area. Well, I suppose the key area I suppose I'm focusing on is the whole area of renewable energy and developing a strategy for the county. I mean, to me, there's huge potential in the county in terms of whether it's wind, wave, or alternative renewables. To me, it's something that should be a huge strength for the county. The key to it is obviously getting the 400 kV line in from electricity, or not air from Airgrid, to try and get them to connect it up into Mayo, so we can actually export energy out of the county. That is proven a huge obstacle at the moment. It looks like we could be anything up to 2018, 2019 before that's achieved.
Why is that?
It's again, it's down to politics in many ways, and I mean it is a big investment. You have to go through a very long process in terms of the whole the background in terms of achieving that. You have to go through the environmental impact study. You have to get all the various interest groups involved in it. Then ESB actually do the installation rather than Airgrid, and it's just a long, drawn-out process, and it's a lot of money involved.
Is the will there to do it?
I think there is. I think there's a recognition finally that, North Mayo in particular is, I suppose, the equivalent to Saudi Arabia in terms of oil. There is massive resources. They reckon, even just in a conservative estimate, that we could export 6 times the requirements of the energy needs in Ireland at the moment out of this country, and that's a conservative estimate. So, to me, we have it all in Mayo. It's just a matter of getting the infrastructure in to serve it. So it's the other area I'm involved in, and I suppose this has much to do with recreational now. So I'm chairman of the walking partnership in Mayo. And again, it's kind of the various interest groups, be the people involved in walking, tourism organisations, the likes of Leader, and other kind of groups that kind of tie in with that whole area. And
you got a great start with the Greenway.
Yeah, we've made great progress, and I think there's really ambitious plans for the county, and I think it's great. I mean, we've really put ourselves on the map as a county, and I suppose as a town as well, in terms of walking and just adventure sports. The Greenway has been a great start, but I hope that isn't just the end point. I hope that's only just the first stage of it. I suppose the long-term ambition, and the one that everyone should be, in my view, should be trying to achieve, is the link from Galway out to Clifton, into Leenane, Louisburg, Westport, into Newport, down into Ballycroy, down into KG Fields, back to Belmullet, and then we're looking at putting in a kind of bridge along the way into Ballina, and a kind of like a special type of design bridge, which in itself would be an attraction. So you'd have visitors coming here for what I would call maybe a week, 10 days, do maybe 10-15 miles a day, stop, kind of get to meet people and experience the culture, and keep continuing on. And that's what we need to be achieving. I think as a country we need to be achieving that, not just in Mayo. But I think Mayo had a head start, and I do think the likes of Anna Connor, who we appointed at the time as a walking officer, many people criticised it, but it actually gave us someone to bring the whole thing together rather than so many different groups going their own one way. are there different ways.
I suppose people criticise everything, don't they?
They do. But
criticise the Greenway.
Absolutely. But you look at that's the nature. That's the nature of life. But I do think people have come around to it. I remember when the Greenway was being built, many people commented, and I suppose you could understand the frustration, was saying, look at the money they're wasting on that, and the roads are with potholes and torn up and all the rest of it. But
it's almost paying for itself now.
Well, it is. You know, I mean, the total investment in that Greenway from Westport to Achill was €5 million. Now, you go out onto one of the roads. There's a mile and a half outside Newport they're doing at the moment. It's costing €3.5 million. So when you equate one with the other, I think pound for pound the Greenway has paid for itself and will pay for itself 100 times over in the years to come.
Well, you certainly seem to have a vision anyway.
I hope so, and I think everyone is really kind of buying into it. And you know, no matter what group you're talking to, or what organisation or what individual, I think really people do recognise the potential as Mayo has that walking and venture capital.
Have you a bigger political vision?
I don't know, and I mean it's a tough one to, you know. There's a part of me that say I'd love to, you know, and there's another part of me that say you wouldn't want to be well in the head to go into it.
Oh, you want a thick neck?
Well, that's probably not the problem.
I think you're not too bad at that.
I'm probably not talking about the right man as well when it comes to thick necks. But no, I look at it. Let's play it by ear. Michael is there, and as long as Michael decides to stay there, it'll be his seat. But if he does retire sometime down the road, yeah, I'd like to consider it, and you know, maybe I will. Ultimately, it'll be the people that will decide whether if I put my name in the ballot, whether I'll be elected or not.
I say you could be good at it.
Well, time will tell.
Thanks very much.